Alright guys, we are going to work on simplifying radicals. This is Miss Flannery here, and my pen is going crazy. Let's see if I can fix that problem. This first part is a square root. It's not that bad, and I do my little trick that I like to call, if you got a date, you get to go out tonight, and if you don't have a date, you're going to stay in the house, and I call this square root little deal the house. So first we're going to do our factoring tree to get us on the right track. So find the smallest number you can find that goes into 24. At least that's what I like to do. You could pick bigger numbers, but if you pick the smaller numbers, it lines up the primes nice and neat later. So 2 times 12 is 24, 2 times 6 is 12, and 6 becomes 2 and 3. Now remember, I don't care about you 6 because you're not prime. I don't care about you 12 because you are not prime. So I'm looking at all the prime numbers, and since this right here is the good old-fashioned square root, we are going to look for pairs, or two of a kind, since it's the square root. Okay, those come in pairs. So we look through our primes. Yep, I see a set of pairs. I mean a pair of twos. And then we have this 2. I used to say sad and lonely 2, but because it didn't have a date, and then I thought, well, maybe they're enjoying their time alone. They're just chilling. So the 2 and the 3 don't have a date. They're staying home. And this pair of 2's comes out. So the 2 comes out of the house. This 2 stays in. This 3 stays in. And if there's more than one thing, then you multiply them together. So if more than one pair comes out, you multiply them. If more than one loner stays in, you multiply them. So we have final answer, 2 square root of 6. Ba, ba, ba. Answer. There it is. There's the answer. Okay. Number 2, what is this over here with this crazy 3 up in the top? Well, let me tell you something. That little 3 tells us that this is a cube root. So instead of looking for pairs, we are now looking for 3 of a kind. Or you could think of it as triplets. Okay? So we're still going to do our factor tree. And again, this is just a little trick I like to use. You could just look for cubes that go into 1,000. But I'm going to show you the little trick. Smallest number I can think of that goes into 1,000 is 2 besides 1. And that would give me 2 times 500. Hey, 500 is even. So that's 2 times 250. Hey, 250 is even. So that's 2 times 125. Hey, 125 is not even. Cannot divide out of 2, but it does end in a 5. So I can divide out 5. It turns out that's times 25. And I know that that's 5 times 5. Once again, I don't care about you, 25, or 125, or 250, or 500, because you're not prime. Also known as composite numbers. So now I gotta look, do we have any 3 of a kinds, or triplets? Now remember, we are not looking for pairs this time, because this thing says, look for triplets. That, by the way, is called the index. Whatever number is up there tells you what root you're talking about, and it's called the index. Alright, so we're looking for 3 of a kind, and we do have 3 of these 2's. How nice. You may go out on a date tonight. You get to go out of the house. Group date. And there's also all these 5's. There's 3 of them. They all get to come out of the house tonight. Remember, anything, if they both get to come out, you multiply them. If they both stay home, you multiply them. But there's nothing left. So everybody got to come out of the house tonight, so there's no house to write down anymore. So the answer here is just plain old 10, 10. Okay? Alright, so these were lovely, but neither of them had any crazy variables in them, otherwise known as letters. So let's look at number 7 on your handy dandy worksheet. Oh, I grab it. And number 7 does have letters. Oh no, Mr. Bill. So we got to deal with that, but first we have to look at the index. This index here is not a 2. Hidden Ninja 2. It is not a 3. So it's not a cube root, not a square root. This is what's called a fifth root. And on fifth roots, you were going to look for, yes, that's right, 5 of a kind. Okay, so this time we're looking for 5 of a kind. And we're going to start the same. Let's do our handy dandy factor tree. It's even. How nice. Divide out of 2. It turns out that is 112. Oop, divide out of 2 again. Turns out that is 56. Oh, even. Pull out of 2. That's 28. Well, hello, even number. I can divide you by 2. And it's 14. And also even. I see a pattern happening here. And now we're down to 7. Hey, prime number. We're done. So, remember, don't care about you not primes. I mean, on some level, I care about everybody, but not for this assignment. So, get rid of those composite numbers so they don't distract you. And how many are we looking for again? 5. We're looking for 5 of a kind. So in our handy dandy little factor tree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, why yes. There are 5 of these 2s. How nice of you. You guys all get to go out tonight. I don't know, maybe we're going to go see a movie. I don't know what you're doing. We're going to go hang out. This little 7 though, staying home, just chilling. Maybe read a book, watch a movie by yourself. Something awesome. Relax time. I didn't deal with this R. We need to deal with that. And lots of my students like this if you just write out that there are 7 R's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, we are looking for 5 of a kind. Why, yes, there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 2 left over. So there's one group of R's that gets to come out of the house. And then 2 little R's that are staying home. Even though there's a pair of them, remember we are not looking for pairs now, we are looking for 5 of a kind. So there's not enough of those to come out, so those have to stay in. So our final answer here would be what gets to come out? The 2, the R. Who stays home? The 7. And this R times this R, which is in fact R squared. But there is a missing detail that I forgot the first video I made on this. And it is a very important detail. You must not forget it yourself. The detail is this makes it look like a square root. If there's no index here, that means square root. But what root were we doing? Fifth root. Must write a 5. Little tiny 5 on this shelf. Okay? If you don't put that 5 up there, the answer would be wrong. Rang. And we don't want wrong answers. So, there you go. There's how you simplify radicals with Miss Flannery's handy dandy house of dates idea. And that just helps you keep track of it. Now, get that work done. Goodbye.